this is what I read for December. So this is my December wrap-up. Hey, how you doing? December wrap-up of what I read in December. No, this is in no order of how I read it, except for the last book is the one I read last. That is literally the only thing that's going on here at this current moment in time. So, I am Leanne, and if this is your first time here, pull up a seat, sit down. We are going to talk about these books. And non-spoiler, wrapping up in January. So this is what you get. So this is The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. Okay. What made me read this book? It was the second book by Anne Rice, but also about Lestat when he was younger. And I wanted to see why Lestat was the way he was in like Interview with a Vampire and, you know, the Queen of the Damned movies in the book, Interview with a Vampire. Why he was so poofed up about himself. Oh, he thought he was always right about everything. You know? So, here is the blurb. Lestat, the vampire hero of Anne Rice's enthralling novel, is a creature of the darkness and enriches imagination. Once an aristocrat in the heady days of pre-revolutionary France, now a rock star in the demonic, shimmering 1980s, he rushes through the centuries in search of others like him, seeking answers to the mystery of his eternal, terrifying existence. His is a memorizing story, passionate, complex, and thrilling. That is what that is, okay? So, this story, as you know, is part of a series called The Vampire Chronicles. The genre is considered to be gothic fiction, but it could also be gothic romance fiction, because Lestat tries to do romance a lot. So yeah, there's that. What did I think about the book? It was okay for what it was. I didn't finish it. I honestly couldn't get into it. I did read quite a few pages into it, but I just couldn't really get into the book the way I wanted to. Too much back and forth reflection, too much agonizing over dumb shit, and too much repetition of shit that's already happened. And it's just like, eh. Did this live up to my expectations? Not really, but that's okay. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Could be your cup of tea, for all I know. You could be something you enjoy. That's what it is. So should you go ahead and read this story/series? Yes, if you love reading Interview with a Vampire, you will love reading this. I didn't really like reading the Interview with a Vampire. Yes, if you love the movies. Then the movies were great. I loved the movie Interview with a Vampire, and I love the movie Queen of the Damned, which had a little bit of this in here too. But also that other movie. I think there's 3 movies out, because I think Queen of the Damned is the 3rd movie. I'm not sure. Basically, the Queen of the Damned and it mixes the 2 of them together. So there you go. This one and the Queen of the Damned are all one movie instead of two movies. Not really sure, but that's okay. I'm just not. I don't really. Okay. And if you love the TV show that is out there, any of the vampire TV shows, or if you love vampires and gothic aesthetics with a little hint of gay romance in there, because Lestat is totally for men. He likes men, basically. So that's that. That's this one. Okay. Jacqueline Frank's Wrapup. What made me read this book? Well, it was a nice book in the series, and obviously I did like Jacqueline Frank's previous series that I had read before, The Nightwalkers, which of course I'm now reading for you guys. With my excitement, I can't wait to continue reading that for you, because I've only read Jacob so far, but we will continue, okay? So, Magnus is a man of contradictions. A spiritual leader in a warrior's body. To him, laws are for enforcing and visions must be followed, even if that means freeing a beautiful slave and making her his reluctant handmaiden. Betrayed once before, Magnus can barely bring himself to trust another woman. Yet, Deianira's fiery innocence is drawing them both into a reckless inferno of desire. Deianira grew up hearing tales of a fearsome priest who seemed more myth than reality, but Magnus is very real, every inch of him, and so is the treachery surrounding them. Beneath Sanctuary's calm surface, An enemy is scheming to unleash havoc on the Shadow Dwellers unless Magnus trusts in a union ordained by fate and sealed by unending bliss. This story is part of a series called The Shadow Dwellers. Okay. It's the second book and the third one. 3-part series. The genre is considered to be paranormal romance. What did I think of this book? It was really good. It furthered along the whole overarching plot of the book while also having its own individualized plot within it, which is what I like, because if you're going to do these overarching plots, you have to have a plot within the book. You have to have one. Every single one should have its own plot that deals within the overarching plot and furthers it along, but at the same time can be resolved within the book itself. The first one had an overarching plot. This one had its own plot with the overarching plot overhead of it, which moved it forward. And now the last one will conclude all of it, which will have its own plot, which will conclude the overarching plot as well. Which is what I'm looking forward to reading, because I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't wait to read about what's going to happen. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes. Yes, it did. My only sore point is that it all happens within like a week or two, a couple of weeks, not very long. And someone who was emotionally and physically abused kind of opens up very, very quickly to the rest of the world. That's my only contention with it, but that's just my contention. Other people might have other reasons for it. You might like it for other reasons. So should you go and read the story/series? Yes, if you love the paranormal. Yes, if you love unique magic system, because it does have its own unique magic system, intrigue, mystery, romance, and if you love The Nightwalkers by Jacqueline Frank, you will love the Shadow Dwellers series. Okay? So go ahead and read it. A Deadly Web by Kay Hooper. What made me read this book? It's part of her series. That's what I'm going to say. It's okay, it's part of the series. So, Jean Brody is a guardian, a member of a secretive network devoted to winning a war very few people know exists. Very few even know exists. Protecting the vulnerable psychics in his charge from a deadly, ruthless, and virtually invisible enemy. Tasha Solomon is a gifted psychic whose abilities have saved her more than once from situations as dangerous as they are baffling. She doesn't believe she needs help, and she doesn't even know that guardians exist until Brody saves her life. Unaccustomed to depending on anyone for anything, Tasha now finds herself embroiled in a deadly game where the ultimate goal is a fate far worse than any nightmare. Brody is the only person she can trust to guide her through a maze of danger and deception, lies and treachery, friends and enemies, until they reach safe harbor. If they reach safe harbor. So, the story is part of a series called Bishop Files, which is also encompassing within the whole series of the Special Crimes Unit, which is part of the Evil series. The genre is considered romance, suspense, and paranormal, obviously. What did I think about the book? It was okay. And it's not the best of hers. It still has a suspense within it. It still has a mystery within it, but it doesn't have the whole action-packed part that really drew me in with Chill of Fear and Blood Dreams. That's sort of missing, but that's okay. This sets up for the third book, which I still have to read the first book to get my grasp of it all. But there is a third book in this little Bishop Files series, and I can't wait to read the first and the third book to get everything going. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes, definitely for the suspense and the paranormal, the psychics and everything in it, but not for the action. Like I said, it was missing the action that I was really hooked in with, the supernatural action that was happening within the first two books I mentioned, Chill Fear and Blood Dreams. It's missing in this one, but I'm sure there's a reason for it, maybe. This one's just more like a setup for the third one than anything else. Should you go and read the story/series? Yes, if you love the paranormal, suspense, mystery, romance, and of course you like psychics, because this is not about vampires or werewolves. It's about humans who have psychic abilities, like reading people's mind, like moving things, like sensing the dead, or even, seeing ghosts. That type of shit. Palace of Dam by Darren Shan. What made me read this book? It's a book by Darren Shan. And it's like a prequel to the Crook de Freak series. Okay, so read, right, okay. So, here is the epic saga continuation of Lantern Cripsley. Lost in the Arctic waste, carrying a baby, Lantern faces the darkest time he has ever known, as well as the terrifying possibility of hope. As Lantern experiences heaven and hell and tries to save the soul of a child, the question is, can he even save his own? Possibilities. This story is part of a series called The Saga of Lantern Cripsley, which of course is this prequel to the saga of Darren Shan, Crook de Freak series. This genre is considered to be young adult paranormal. What did you think of the book? It was okay, not the best. It didn't have really what I thought it would, because it says the Palace of the Damned, and it really, the beginning half of the book is about the Palace of the Damned, because he does find it. But the rest of it deals with him trying to save the soul of himself, as well as the soul of the child that went astray. Did this live up to my expectations? Did it live up to my expectations? For what it was supposed to be, I guess, but it could have been better. There could have been more action in it. There could have been more return to the Palace of the Damned, which is what the title is, and it could have dealt with more of that within it. But still, for what it was good. Okay. So, should you go and read this story/series? Yes, if you love the Darren Shan saga, the Crook de Freak series. If you liked anything Darren Shan has written, like the Thin Expedition or the Zombie series, I think it's called. I haven't read that one yet. I don't even own any of those. If you like vampires, Quest to Find Oneself, there is some romance in this, or even a brewing war, because there is a war brewing in this. The Wicked King by Holly Black. When we read this book, it's the next books after The Cruel Prince. Of course I needed to read it because I love The Cruel Prince and I wanted to get into The Wicked King. Okay. So, Jude has bound the Wicked King hardened to her and made herself the power behind the throne. Navigating the constantly shifting political alliances of Fairy would be difficult enough if Cardan were biddable. But he does everything in his power to humiliate and undermine her. When it becomes all too clear that someone close to Jude means to betray her, Jude must uncover the traitor and fight her own complicated feelings for Cardan to maintain control as a mortal in a fairy world. There you go. This story is part of a series called The Folk of the Air. There's 4 of them in the series, and then there's also like a sequel called Duology thing that comes out after that. The genre is considered to be young adult romance fantasy. Okay, what did I think of the book? It was great. I loved every second of it. The plot twists towards the end were just good. Lovely. I can't wait to read The Queen of Nothing. I cannot wait to jump in. I can't. Now I know why it's called The Queen of Nothing. So now I can't wait to see how it ends. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes, it so totally did. Nothing else I can say about that. Should you go and read the story/series? Yes. If you love fairies, if you love romance, if you love brewing war, because there's a brewing war in this, and if you love mystical magic, immortals trying to struggle in a world full of magic, then go ahead, read this series. That is my recommendation. Yes? Yes. The Dawn of Yang Chen by F.C. Yi. What made me read this book? Well, it's about Yang Chen the Avatar. Why wouldn't I read it? I like Avatar The Last Airbender. Not as much. I mean, I didn't really... Avatar The Legend of Korra was okay. And there's a new one coming out. I don't know if I'm going to watch it because it's about twins being avatars. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But I like this. This was wonderful. This was good. So, gotta read the inside because that's like spoilers. Plagued by the voices of avatars before her for as long as she can remember, Yang Chen has not yet earned the respect felt for Avatar Setsu, her predecessor. In an era where loyalty is bought rather than earned, she has little reason to trust her counsel. When Yang Chen travels to Ben-Ur in the Earth Kingdom on political business, a chance encounter with an informant named Kavik leads to a wary partnership. Ben-Ur is a city ruled by corrupt Shang merchants who have become resentful of the Martial Earth King and his whims. To extract themselves from his influence, the Shangs have one solution in mind: a mysterious weapon of mass destruction that would place power squarely in their hands. As Yang Chen and Kavik seek to thwart the Shangs' plan, their unlikely friendship deepens. But for Yang Chen to chart her course as a singularly powerful avatar, she must learn to rely on her own wisdom above all else. I really hope that there is an Avatar Setsu. And, of course, the water avatar, I keep forgetting his name, it begins with a K. Yeah. I really wish that there would be books about those two as well. Because it would be interesting to see how their build up powers. Because this is while they rise to power. These duologies that they're coming out with, they're not actually about how, in their height of their power. It's about the rise to their power. This story is part of a series called Yang Chen. It's a duology, of course, but it's also part of the Chronicles of the Avatar, which are 6 books in. At the time of this recording, the 6th book has just been released, and it's called The Awakening of Roku. So, there is that. The genres could be drama, fantasy, I guess. That's what I found when I Googled it. What did I think of the book? Well, it was awesome to see how she starts becoming the woman that she is known for when she is reached out to in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when he's trying to ask what to do about Fire Lord Ozai. So, yeah. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes, I loved it. Don't care if it's for young adults. I don't care. It was really good. Okay? It was good. Should you go and read the story/series? Yes, if you love the Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, if you loved anything to do with that kind of world, yes, read this. It's not going to stay. Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. Okay. What made me read the stories? Well, it's the next one in the series. Of course, I had to read it. So, let's see. As the story opens, Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon is summoned unexpectedly to deliver an evening lecture in the U.S. Capitol building. Within minutes of his arrival, however, the night takes a bizarre turn. A disturbing object artfully encoded with 5 symbols is discovered in the Capitol building. Langdon recognizes the object as an ancient invitation, one meant to usher its recipient into a long-lost world of esoteric wisdom. There you go. When Langdon's beloved mentor, Peter Solomon, a prominent Mason and philanthropist, is brutally kidnapped, Langdon realizes his only hope of saving Peter is to accept this mystical invitation and follow wherever it leads him. Langdon is instantly plunged into a clandestine world of Masonic secrets, hidden history, and never-before-seen locations, all of which seem to be dragging him toward a single inconceivable truth. Okay, well, it seems to be stable setting up like this. Not sure how, but there you go. This story is part of a series called Robert Langdon. It's got 6 books in it. Okay, the story genre is considered to be mystery, thriller, suspense, because that's definitely what it has. What did I think of the book? Well, it was heart-pounding. When it really got into it, when the crunch was on, it was really heart-pounding, especially the part where I thought Robert Langdon was dead myself. When I really thought something was going to happen to poor Robert Langdon. It really, really made my heart pound. It did. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes. It was really good. Dan Brown brought all kinds of emotions to the surface for me, so, I loved it. Okay, so should you go and read the story/series? Yes, if you loved watching the movies, Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, Inferno. If you love reading the books, The Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, Inferno, Origins, and the new one that came out. If you love thrillers, mysteries, and suspense, then definitely read this, okay? This concludes, for you guys, my December 2025 wrap-up. I'll see y'all in the new year. If you think you deserve a like, comment, or even a lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.